There she is, there she is. There go the bitch that's a prostitute and she don't know she is one. Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue talking about Latoya Jackson. While Michael was in New York for his 3 Madison Square Garden shows, my manager met with his manager. Frank Delio had assigned Jack the task of keeping Joseph away from the arena, taking seriously my brother's threats not to perform if he spotted his father in the audience. That's hard to believe. Jack can't keep Joe away from him. Jack can't even protect himself against Joseph. So that's kind of like, some things just don't make sense to me. And Michael Jackson's manager seems very, very smart. Okay, and I'll expound on that later. Why the hell would he pick Jack Gordon to come up with a plan? Maybe Jack Gordon had goons. I don't know. But why would he be associated with goons when he ain't no goon? Frank Delio had assigned Jack the task of keeping Joseph away from the arena, taking seriously my brother's threats not to perform if he spotted his father in the audience. Delio was extremely concerned that Joe Jackson would worm his way back into Michael's business. My family had by now turned against Jack, believing he'd taken me away from them. In keeping with our lengthy history of denial, no one wanted to face the truth that I'd left on my own free will and gladly. I don't know if that's it. Like I say, everything is about her. They see a change in Latoya and they don't like that it's surrounding the weasel Jack Gordon. Everybody feels that way. Like when you're a mother and you see your child hanging around a bad person, you like, oh no, that little boy ain't your friend. Don't do that. That little boy gonna get you killed. You know how many friends I done had in my life that my mother was like, could you drop that alley cat back in the alley, please? Don't bring that little girl in my house. She don't have no home training. So it's not like things like that don't happen. See, Latoya makes every song about her. Things are more dramatic in her mind than they really are. So anyway, here go one of her stories, child. She has a story that her family is trying to sabotage her success, okay? Every song is about her, remember that. So anyway, she's at the Trump Hotel, fitting to perform. Catherine and Janet go up to her room because soon she got to go downstairs for like some kind of publicity situation so that it will help promote the show that she fitting to do. Janet and Catherine go up to her room and say, don't go down there. It ain't nobody down there. Don't go down there. What do you mean? There's nobody downstairs? I shouldn't go downstairs and do my press conference? No, girl, ain't nobody down there. Toya's sitting there pondering in her mind, which is BS. Because even I know when you go to a casino, they'll give away the tickets. You hear me? Just so that it will be people in the audience. But they'll even tell people, hey, sit down in these seats right here during the press conference and we'll give you $10 worth of free casino money. To me, sometimes I believe Latoya chooses to be oblivious. But anyway, she's sitting there, she's pondering the situation, and then somebody busts upstairs and is like, wait a minute, you got a press conference downstairs. Why the hell you ain't downstairs? It's people there. The show went over terrifically, receiving some great reviews, and 2 more dates were added to accommodate ticket demand. I suppose because I'd been repeatedly described in the press as quiet, my new image came as a shock. Entering the stage on a black motorcycle amid smoke and lasers, decked out in skin-tight black leather and a rhinestone-studded top, I was certainly the new Latoya. Donald and Ivana Trump warmly congratulated me backstage. That made me feel very good, somewhat offsetting my uneasiness over my family's behavior. I was becoming more outgoing and comfortable in new situations, but I didn't revel in my newfound independence by trying to make up for lost time and rebelling against my moral upbringing. Girl, if you say so. For one thing, I was still extremely withdrawn around the opposite sex, which some men misinterpreted as snobbishness. Eddie Murphy, for one. We had all known Eddie for years, and several times he invited me out to dinner. I politely refused. Eddie's incredibly talented, but I was put off by his reputation as a notorious womanizer and confirmed bachelor. In short, he's just not my type. But Jack Gordon is? In short, he's just not my type. I still believe dating is a very serious thing. This apparently irritated him to no end because I heard through the grapevine that he told friends he was furious with me. One day she'll want to work with me, Eddie supposedly said, and then she'll be sorry. Perhaps I'd inadvertently wounded his king-size ego, but it wasn't as if I'd broken his heart. You got that right. You better believe that, But all throughout this book, everybody wants Latoya. A short time later, my manager and I were ringside at the Mike Tyson, Tony Tucker International Boxing Federation heavyweight title fight in Las Vegas. Jack, a gregarious type, was schmoozing with people from all over, including Eddie, there to cheer on his friend Mike Tyson. From my seat, I saw Jack slip the comic a note. It's impossible to discuss business at these star-studded events. People pretend to listen while scanning the room for other celebrities. Jack, having no idea that America's most bankable box office attraction harbored a grudge against his client, had scribbled on a slip of paper that I wanted to be in an Eddie Murphy movie. Bullshit. Girl, oh my God. Latoya, girl. He scribbled a note and gave it to Eddie Murphy, but the note probably said, you can have Latoya tonight for $500,000. Boom. I'll expound. Following the fight, a special presentation was made to Mike Tyson, and Eddie was there on the raised dais with him, standing alongside the champion. During a lull in the ceremony, Eddie unfolded Jack's note and read it, his face suddenly breaking into a lopsided grin. Called a smirk, baby. That's because Jack just asked Eddie Murphy to pay $500,000 for your vagina. Okay, but I'll move forward. Eddie punched Mike's shoulder to get his attention, pointed at me from the stage, and in front of thousands of spectators, howled that goofy laugh of his. He looked down at the note, up at me, point, and rocked with laughter. Of course, I had no idea why I asked Jack. What did you write in that note? Oh, just that you wanted to be in his next film. Mortified, I bolted from my seat and ran back to my room at the hotel. Later that night, I was walking through the lobby when Mike and his entourage passed by. I heard them whisper, there she is, but he pretended not to see me. So I was surprised to pick up the phone several weeks later and hear his soft, boyish voice. There she is. There go the bitch that's a prostitute and she don't know she is one. Because that's what pimps are. They managers, right? He is managing her. This is just me speculating, okay? What happened was, or what I speculate is that he said, okay, you could have Latoya tonight for $500,000, $250,000. Eddie Murphy laughed. I'm not paying no money to get that bitch. I can get a bitch to look better than her for free. Shit, Janet Jackson available. Remember, he also wanted some of Janet Jackson because remember when he was doing Harlem Nights, Bobby Brown was there. And while Bobby Brown was hunching Janet, Eddie Murphy was hunching Whitney. Eddie Murphy wanted some of that Janet. Ooh, Bobby, what that soft butt feel like? All along, Bobby is hunching Whitney and Janet. Do I think that Eddie Murphy would pay for Latoya? No. But do I think Mike Tyson will? Yeah, because Eddie Murphy wouldn't take the offer. He lowered his price to $100,000. Hey, Mike, what you doing tonight? You want some of that Latoya? You can have her for $100,000. This is not what's in the book, but this is what came out later with Latoya Jackson, that she found out that Jack Gordon told Mike Tyson that he could have Latoya for $100,000. That's what managers do. I've been trying to call you ever since that day I saw you in Las Vegas, he said. It turned out that Mike hadn't ignored me. He was just too shy to introduce himself. No, he just didn't want to, he wasn't interested in that day. He thought you was a joke that day. He didn't want to be bothered with you that day, because if he wanted you that day, believe me, he would have had you. I've been trying to call you ever since that day I saw you in Las Vegas, he said. It turned out that Mike hadn't ignored me. He was just too shy to introduce himself. Girl, potato. I walked those hotel floors for hours waiting for you to come down. Finally, when I saw you, I got so nervous. I pretended like I didn't know you. I couldn't even say a word, so I walked the opposite way. It's been so hard to get in touch with you. Now I'm glad I did. You know, Mike added, I fell in love with you the first time I saw you. Everybody in love with you, Latoya Jackson? Everybody got the same goddamn line? Oh, I fell in love with you the first time I saw you. Girl, stop it. Janet Jackson right there, girl. Remy, she married, but goddamn, she the sexy one. The two of us struck up a phone friendship, talking for hours at a time. I know there's been a lot written about Mike's alleged violence against women, but I found him sweet and sensitive. Pause. Okay, I know you like, Nay, you talking a lot. I drank some regular coffee today, my bad. Baby, one time I was dating an NBA player. Well, I've dated a few, maybe two in my heyday, right? But an NBA player, let me tell you what this ninja would do. Oh, he was schmoozing me, right? The thing was, and what ninjas do, this is for all you young girls, what they do, especially when they are travelers, okay, whether they be an athlete, a rapper, whatever it is, what they do is they set aside that time to talk to you on the phone, whether it be 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it is. This guy would talk to me every night in the locker room right after the game. He was very charismatic, but I'm old enough now to know the bullshit. The trick is, talk to her on the phone. Get her panties to come down while you're on the phone. So then by the time he fly you out, he could just dive in. Because he done already finessed you in the mind, giving you all the time and attention you need on the phone. So you already hot and bothered, baby. When you get to the hotel room, that's if he like you in person, girl. Because plenty of girls then got gooped several times by these celebrities. You hear me? The dudes be looking at them, them Instagram filtered pictures. Okay, I'm preaching today. Or y'all be doing FaceTime or Snapchat, and you make sure that you got the camera or the phone like this, so then that way he don't see the gizzard neck, that your titties roll out to the side. Baby, I'm telling you, if you get to that spot and you don't look like what he wants you to look like, baby, he gonna leave you high and dry. Now, that ain't never happened to me. Now, remember this, women are turned on by what they hear. Men are turned on by what they see. Because he was under constant pressure and public scrutiny, he needed someone to confide in. He was casually dating actress Robin Givens then, but never indicated to me it was serious. That's why I was stunned to read about their marriage in early 1988. A few days later, he phoned me long distance from Japan, where he was fighting. And over the next 3 hours, opened his heart to me. He took an hour out. He took a break from effing them Japanese girls, okay? And called Latoya, finessed her, then went right back in the room. The union was already in trouble. I married Robin because you wouldn't say anything to me, Latoya, he said. If you had shown just the least bit of interest in me romantically, things would be different. The finesse. This kind of talk made me uncomfortable. Mike, you shouldn't be saying that. You're married. But I have to tell you how I truly feel. No, Mike, you have to work on your marriage. I thought to myself, I sounded just like mother advising my brothers. Robin did not appreciate his calling me, which created a lot of friction, even though we were just friends. It was a bad situation all the way around, and I'd be lying if I said I was surprised that she and Mike divorced less than a year later. Around this time, I learned that Donald Trump wanted to present Michael at the Atlantic City Convention Center that fall, offering him the biggest payday in entertainment history. For my brother, who loves breaking records, it seemed irresistible. One of the billionaire development's chief entertainment executive, Tom Cantone, asked Jack and me to act as liaisons between Trump's people and Michael Jackson.